Hi Taurus, welcome to my channel. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. I'm going to just go ahead and jump into this. I haven't shuffled these. I'm going to shuffle them on camera while we're doing this. Check out the description box below if you're interested in personal readings or the extended with this. I'm going to go ahead and do the you and them spread for October. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into it. I know I owe y'all, and then in the extended it's going to be a little bit more in depth this time around too. Thank you so much for everybody's patience. I truly, truly appreciate it. I know it's difficult when I'm not getting all the readings out and I'm trying to get on top of that. I apologize, but my schedule's just crazy. I keep wanting to stop and do this full time, but then I'm kind of a chicken shit, so sorry. Anyways, let's jump into this, see what we come up with. See, this is going to be the you and them spread for love for October for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's just see what's coming through for you. Spirit, please show me what messages you have for the sign of Taurus for love for October 2018. Taurus and the person of interest. Please show me what messages you have for love for the sign of Taurus. It's been pretty heavy shifting energy going on. Lots of huge awakenings. Fool pops out. First card out is the Fool. Showing up for you. It did show up with this side here. This is the front side in the vice versa tarot deck. Let's see what we get with the other person before I dive too much into that card. I do see a lot of perspective here in this Fool card because he's at this high vantage point. From this perspective, even though we can't see what he's viewing a wider array than he's seen before. It's almost like my peripheral vision extends, so it feels like I'm seeing more around me than I recognized was there before. I feel like this is somebody who's seeing things from a much higher perspective, but it's still with that innocence about it. You know, the Fool typically is about new beginnings and fresh starts and trusting and moving forward and trusting. I feel like, yes, there is a part of that, but it's trusting themselves more, I feel like, because my attention is drawn to this mountainous range in the distance. That's the far, far distance. I can see really far from this perspective. I feel like that's what this is showing, is seeing everything in a completely different way, which allows for a lighthearted feeling, allows for a more innocent type, you know, leap of faith type of feeling, because I can see everything better. Nothing really sneaks up on you from that perspective. Other person here, we have the Five of Pentacles. This could be you or the other person. What's very interesting about this Five of Pentacles is both the individual inside and outside are suffering. So I feel like it could be financial. It could be a financial hardship. The Five of Pentacles is that kind of feeling of lack in finance, but I also feel like it is that feeling of shut off from one another. Somebody's feeling a little bit trapped by something, I feel like, on this side, because it's like they're either kept in or outside the walls, but they're kept separate. Typically with the Five of Pentacles in a traditional tarot deck or another tarot deck, you would have two individuals out in the cold. But in this card, it's very clearly just one. However, they are both inside and outside, separated here. So to me, it feels like a feeling of separation for sure. Let's see what's underneath this Fool card then. And he's not even looking up. The lantern is down. I feel like this is the Hermit's lantern almost. The lantern is down here on the ground. The enlightenment, the wisdom, the answers that we're seeking seem to be right here, but he was not even looking up. It's not even looking forward, not even looking up right now. What's underneath this Fool card here? Please show me what's underneath the Fool card here for Taurus or the person of interest for love for October, Spirit. Okay, underneath the Fool we have the Star. Oh my gosh, I love this card so much. The other side of this is so beautiful. They're both beautiful. But here, so yes, there is a separation, but I feel like somebody is freeing themselves Somebody is freeing themselves from the bondage that was here. I feel like this star is somebody who's getting their emotions back in balance, and there's this optimism about this again. This is optimism. This is that bright inspiration that comes through. I feel like this is very strong over here because somebody is really healing, for real. Underneath the Five of Pentacles, then, what do we have underneath the Five of Pentacles? What's underneath the Five of Pentacles here? And what's beautiful to me, too, about this star card, the star that is bright above her, that with the bird, this, you see the, I don't know what it is, a crane maybe, flying away, and she's not focused particularly on anything. She's looking straight ahead. She's got a very serene kind of look. I don't know if you can see it, but she's not really focused on anything. It's kind of that blank look that you get when you're daydreaming, which to me means that this healing is happening on more than just one level. It's on an emotional, spiritual, and physical level. The healing is taking place all at once, I feel like, and it's balanced. It's kind of somebody who is zoned out because their focus is not on what's outward right now. It's focusing on what's inward and balancing that out and finding this optimism and innocence again, which I feel like is something that's very powerful for them. Underneath the Five of Pentacles, we have the Two of Cups. There is definitely a feeling of being cut off from a soulmate or feeling separated. It's a separation. You know, this Five of Pentacles with the Two of Cups underneath is a separation. This could be self-inflicted too. This Five of Pentacles could be self-inflicted. It's somebody who's regretting. It could be. Because it, to me, is the things that they do on the regular. You know, it's on day-to-day. Like, Pentacles are all about the day-to-day. So it's somebody who feels like they are failing literally on the regular or feeling cut off. Because I do feel like both parties feel a connection here. It's very strong. There is a strong soulmate connection here, but it feels cut off or disrupted. There's healing taking place and a leap of faith that somebody's willing to take on this side as they're healing. But I feel like this person, this Five of Pentacles that's focused so much on the negative, it's the negative of things. It's looking at the pitfalls rather than what could be wonderful about it. And people do get caught up in their heads a lot of times about, you know, looking at the negative side rather than looking at what all the positives were, because we dwell on the negative sometimes in situations like this. But I do feel like there is this recognition. This Two of Cups is a very close bond. And there is a feeling of being left out in the cold from this very close bond, and that sucks. So let's see what's underneath this Star card then. Underneath the Fool and the Star card. Alright. The Four of Cups. Four of Cups underneath this Fool and the Star card, and it's this side of the Four of Cups. So this side of the Four of Cups, we see the young man looking at the cups that are over there in the water. Here, we see the Four Cups empty on the shore, but the ship that has taken to the ocean. I feel like from this perspective, the Fool sees this. He can see this taking place too. It's this feeling. Okay, Taurus, so I feel like the Fool Star card with the Four of Cups person on this side, whoever this is the feeling of finally owning their worth to the point that they are willing to risk it. So I feel like what it is, it could be a couple different things. Somebody is willing to risk losing a relationship if they feel like they have not been met with what they should have been or what they feel like they are worth. It could be somebody who is owning what their worth is and recognizing that if this individual can't give it to them, somebody else can. And finally getting out of that zone of this is the only one for me, maybe. Or it could be somebody who is willing to take the risk again. to see where that ship is going. Somebody who has thought about this and that's where they want to go. So it could be one of two things. Somebody who's made up their mind about where they're going, or somebody who's made up their mind to value their own worth, and that's where they're going. You know what I mean? Like, that's the destination, is once I find my worth and I don't accept what I'm, less than what I'm worth, it can't go wrong. Kind of that type of a feeling. So let's see what's with this Five of Pentacles, Two of Cups. Show me what is underneath this Five of Pentacles and Two of Cups. Here, Spirit, please show me what is underneath the Five of Pentacles and Two of Cups for Taurus love. What is this Five of Pentacles, Two of Cups for Taurus love? Please show me what is underneath this. Okay. The Lovers. We have this side of the Lovers popping up. Decisions. The decision that has to be made. This is something, though, that's happening again on the inside. I feel like somebody's really in it right now. Deep in this kind of either regret, or they're definitely feeling cut off and they're in it. So because they're in it with this Two of Cups that's underneath, they're recognizing that they're feeling cut off from an important bond. With this Lovers card coming through, I feel like, see, the front of this is being called on the carpet, the angels bringing them together. Here, on the flip side of this, they've been brought together. They've seen this now. Now it's about, how do we figure out how to do this in real life? Like, how do we do this? I feel like, yes, there is a decision that's being made, and I feel like it's not necessarily a decision. It's kind of like ownership. Like, okay, I admit to myself that this person is important to me. Crap, now what? It's kind of like that feeling. Somebody who's like, somebody feels like an idiot, I feel like, for some of you. I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's what it feels like. They're just like, how could I be such an idiot? Because there's definitely this Two of Cups Lovers energy, this very strong soulmate energy, and somebody is really regretting something about that. Because this other person seems to be free in a way that this person isn't yet, I feel like, or something along those lines. But there's love here, so I feel like there's decisions that have to be made about whether this is going to, whether it's time to come together or whether it's time to part ways. But I feel like it's up to this Five of Pentacles person, I feel like it's up to them to make up their minds on this in some way. Because the Fool and the Star is kind of in this come what may energy. So they're open, but they're open to lots of possibilities, not just this one possibility. It's up to this person, I feel like, to make a decision. Let's see what the energy of the relationship is for Taurus. What is the energy of the relationship here? Please show me what the energy of the relationship is here for Taurus. What is the energy of this relationship? King of Pentacles pops out as the energy of this relationship. With this side of the King of Pentacles, we see the lush plenty around him and this beautiful night sky behind him, but he's still sitting on that throne. It kind of gives me this feeling of there's a strong stability that exists here, but it's kind of like a willingness that there needs to be a willingness to step into that ownership, almost like kind of like accepting it, because I feel like there's a little bit of a struggle against it. Let's see. We'll clarify with this one. Please clarify this King of Pentacles as the energy of the relationship. What is this King of Pentacles about here? I just feel like he shouldn't be sitting on his throne right there in this beautiful night sky. He doesn't need to be looking over his fruits. So there's something about that that strikes me as immovable, maybe a little stubborn. What is this King of Temperance? Look at that. King of Pentacles and the balance. Okay, so here we go. We've got this energy is about being able to balance this the practicalness that can exist here with the the fire and water, which would be the emotions and the actions. It's these day to day. Okay, somebody on the daily, this day to day effort, input that needs to be put in. It has to be balanced on a daily, dependable level. And I feel like that's what this is talking about here, this regret that somebody's recognizing that that's not what was happening. They weren't putting in on the day to day. It was the little things that add up. Or there's something with that about this that's saying that that's what needs to be fixed here. The energy of the relationship is beautiful and balanced, but something threw it out of balance. And there's decisions that have to be made about bringing this back into balance, because this is a very strong spiritual connection here. It's actually very beautiful energy. It's somebody is ready and open to taking that leap of faith. And I feel like this other person just has to get through this Five of Pentacles feeling of separation and recognize that they are still connected. You are still connected. If the love exists on this side, it exists on that side. Somebody may be feeling the need to take this leap of faith and step forward, but I feel like this is a time where this decision is being made. With this Two of Cups and this Lovers, somebody is coming to decision time. So let me know let me know what's going on with you, and check out the extended if this is resonating with you. Thank you so much for checking this out, and I'll speak with y'all soon.